Here we are, apexart video, and we are doing our exit interview with Jung, yes?
Yes.
Who has been here for 1 month and will be returning to Korea in a couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start our questions.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So most programs are about promoting the resident or fellow.
Mm-hmm.
Our program, we don't do this normal kind of promotion. We don't introduce you to people. Instead, we give you many new experiences. What were your expectations, and when they spoke to you about the program, what did they tell you?
Expectation
What did you think?
before here or
Yeah, about our program.
before I came to
Yes.
you? Actually, I had no idea because I only have a small information. They gave the information, which is I will do the cultural exploration, explosions. But I didn't know I'm gonna stay here alone. So, yeah. Actually,
Okay.
I don't know what I will going to do here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you found out what our program was like,
Now,
when you got here,
here,
and we told you that these are all of the different things that you're going to do,
yeah.
what did you think?
At the first time, when I arrived here, I was confusing because of the time difference, and I didn't sleep too much, so I don't know about how it goes on. But after a few days, I could understand about this program, and it is very, very interesting because I came here, but I felt you manage this program, and I do every day, not alone, because you organized many artists and many people who I met here. So I felt I met many people in the program, but they are not separate from this program. They are have a relation with you, or sometimes Elizabeth. So it was very interesting. So, and then, yeah, I could find many. Sometimes I feel alone, but sometimes I find former artists before me. For example, I found some trace, some stuff in the apartment, and sometimes I could find some diary in Tumblr.
Right.
So it is very big project. Then I joined one part as one artist. So
you
do
were
you
like,
understand? Yeah.
So you were like a detective in the apartment,
A detective?
like a policeman,
Yeah.
where you look
Yeah.
for evidence of past
Yeah.
artists.
I feel I join as a the chess game.
Right.
I am one of the horse.
Ah.
Yeah, you are a player.
I am the king?
Yeah. No, you're not
She's
a
the
king.
queen?
She's a king, and you are a player.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I moved one place to another place, and there I found another horse or some different.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
So, why do you think they selected you?
My work is about usually it was about the place I related, and then my work is about exploration,
Exploration?
exploration
Uh-huh.
the world.
Mhm.
And actually I'm not I don't have lots of career yet, but they may thought I have a possibility. Yeah.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
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 So, okay, this is
Yeah.
your first time in New York. I think one day or something, but did you find people friendly, and what was surprising to you just about,
People.
yeah.
I think here it's people I can talk to others more easily. But in Korea, I have a lot of connection with friends and family, but if I don't know you, I never talk to you.
Right.
Yeah. Here, people easily say hello. And for example, when I buy some stuff in the supermarket, people told me hello and how are you? So I was surprised. So why she asked me how are you? So yeah, it was the first time I feel they are more friendly. And then they like to express their feelings and emotions.
This is a very interesting cultural issue, because the last fellow that was here said that when people would say to him, how are you? He thought they really wanted to know how he was, and he would begin to tell them long.
Yes.
Yeah? And this is kind of different because you do not expect to tell people how you really are. It is just like saying hello.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So will you do that when you go home more, do you think?
But if I say how are you
Yeah,
in Korea
yeah,
to stranger,
yeah,
they thought I am crazy.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we send you to a therapist
Yeah.
to make sure you are not crazy.
Yeah.
I have a question
Okay.
off of that. I wanted to know, so if somebody says, how are you here? Do you think of that as unnecessary and too personal, or do you think that it is a nice thing?
It's nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was my question.
Yeah. I feel very good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Because usually it's hardly talk to others because I traveling alone. So
Well, one of the important things in our program is that you do a lot of things alone. We do that because we think it makes people think differently. You don't talk to other people, you are always looking.
yeah.
And I did read in your journal that you feel you are getting more confident. Yes?
Oh. Yeah, maybe.
That you will do more things alone, and that it does not scare you as much.
Yeah, I like to stay and traveling alone because if I work with others, I feel not alone. I feel that, but if I if I work by myself, I can concentrate on the sense. Like I could see more. I could smell. I could hear, and I could concentrate on the sense of the body. So I like to, and I recording how I feel this city
In the journal or
by myself first, because it's more comfortable to write in my language, and some I write my journal.
Okay.
After that, yeah.
So I see that Elizabeth has a question that she would like to ask.
Just bouncing off of this, is that something that you do when you are in Seoul, or do you do that here because you're in the program?
Sorry. Yeah.
The idea of walking around alone and exploring alone and having time to write your ideas and reflect, is that something that you do in Seoul, or is that unique to you being in New York City?
I think it's unique in New York City, because in Seoul, in daily life, I passing everything, and I don't feel recording about my feeling. But here, I only have 1 month, and I want to find some more details about the city. Yeah, so it's very different. So 1 month, I spend here 1 month, but I feel more time I spend here. Yeah.
Do you think you will continue to observe in the same way when you go back to Seoul with different perspectives?
Actually, when I stay here, I could find as an observer, find this city as an observer, but in the same time, I could think about Korea, because actually I am just a human being, but I always thought I want to not belong to Korea. But I realized that when I stay here, my thinking is controlled by Korean language. So I have to admit myself as a Korean, so I could find the sensibility not only New York but also Korea. Yeah.
So if I were to ask you, what is the biggest difference between Korean society and being in New York? Not American, but New York is very different. Is there some big difference that you see very clear?
Yeah. The most different thing is surely about people. In Korea, we are all same looking, and it's a very small community. So if somebody, for example, if some star wearing clothes and he going to famous, everybody follow. So you can find the people when you work in the Seoul, they are looking all same, and the face and the hairstyle, everything is same.
So do you think something like K-pop,
Yeah.
is that the desire to look different?
No, K-pop, people follow K-pop. So everybody follow same style of makeup.
Okay. And not trying to look different?
Yeah, Yeah, not trying to look different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So we have 5 boroughs in New York: Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, Manhattan, and the Bronx. And do you have a favorite?
Actually, I enjoyed all different places, but surely Manhattan is interesting, and secondly, some part of Queens
Yeah.
and some part of Brooklyn.
Do you like having things very different around you? Different food, different people, everything different? Is this...
Actually, food is I made a food
I
many
saw
times.
your refrigerator.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I had a lunch or dinner outside once a day. But you know, the Seoul is also metropolitan city,
Right.
so you could find every different dishes all around you. So food is not too much impressive.
Not so different.
Yeah, not so much.
Good.
Yeah.
One of the activities that you said was very difficult for you was the improv class,
Oh.
improvisation, because it was so not anti-Korean, but so different from what you do at home.
Activity.
The improvisation, where I think you went with Elizabeth, and you had to act.
Yeah, that was most hard.
Was that the hardest activity for you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think so.
Why?
Why? Because my English is not really good, and I was a little bit afraid of acting. I never tried it, so it's not a difficult thing. It's a very easy acting, but even though I feel a little bit nervous to sitting in front of the people. Yeah.
Well, you see that one very important part of our program is having you do things that you have never done before.
Okay.
The idea is that we want to give you many new experiences,
Okay.
and these can come into your work.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you did or anything you saw that was, maybe I can put that into my work? Or maybe not yet.
Maybe I don't know exactly, but I want to bring to my work. One is this system,
Ah,
Yeah, you're a player, you're a king, and I am a horse, and so I don't know how it's going to work, but I want to use this system. And another one is I don't know, but I want to find more about the people who lives here. They are interesting about their background and all different races and different how to say? They are all different ages, different races, and different, the level.
one of the things that I find very interesting when I deal with Korean artists is the idea of success. Yeah? And different um, different things that are considered success in different places. One of the problems for artists is that you are encouraged to speak for the rest of society in a certain kind of way, your work or something. How does this work for you? Because success often is about money, but success for creativity sometimes is not about money. So how does this confuse you at home about what is success?
Success.
Yeah.
I think success means every single person have different aim to success. Someone have a success which is to earning the money. Someone have a success as a high, you mean, for example, going to be a professor and the different.
In the US, we used to consider professors to be high up.
Yeah.
And now, as the economy has changed, we see success more also in terms of money. People who make the most money, have the most power, we consider to be the most successful.
Yeah.
So we have a similar confusion about what success is, and I see among Korean artists that you have to make work that is accepted, but you have to be creative, which means work is different. This is not a conflict.
Sorry, you mean, can you explain?
Well, artists like to make work that is different. When it is different, it is not accepted. But success is acceptance. So there is maybe one path that is creative, but not going to be successful
Okay.
because it is maybe too different.
I think
Difficult question.
I think if I understand what you said, but if artist find his way or her way and find some for a long time, but the acceptation is things about in the future. You understand?
Do you think it is more difficult being an artist in the US or in Korea, or no difference?
Before I came here, I thought in United States have art which is very spectacle, huge and lots of money in it. But I don't know yet because I want to find some independent places in New York. Left 2 days. Yeah.
Okay. There are many independent places, mostly they tend to have the same value as larger. Most organizations are about helping the artist with career. We are not.
I see.
We think if we give you more experiences, that you have more material for your work,
Yeah.
and then your work will be
Yeah.
more interesting.
Yeah. I absolutely agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, we talked about you're feeling more confident, but what was the most challenging activity you did, either physically or mentally? What was the hardest thing that you have done?
The physically was acting, and then she gives me a lot of lectures, or they are spoken in English, and I always trying to understand. I want to understand everything what they said, but sometimes I could understand, but sometimes I couldn't understand, unfortunately. So yeah, that was difficult. Yeah.
Did you find yourself thinking in English at all?
In English,
Yeah.
I realized that we first time we think and we speak in it, but I think it's different. First time, because of my language, I could think.
Right.
So I have to translate
Right,
all the
right.
time. So sometimes it's a little bit confusing.
But in the last week, have you found that you think in English a little bit?
Found English what?
That you think in English. So not in Korean. No?
No.
Okay. Only 1
Yeah.
month, yes, it
Yeah,
is.
1 month is maybe 3 years or more than I stay here. Maybe my English getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did volunteer work. Is this something that many people do in Korea?
Yeah, many people do in Korea, but I didn't too much. Yeah.
Do artists?
Artist? No, not much.
Yeah, not here either.
Yeah.
Artists are sometimes very selfish.
Yeah.
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 So when you did the volunteer work, how did you feel about the racial diversity? Yeah. And how did it make you feel?
I did the volunteer 2 times, 1 times.
2 times.
One
Well,
is
You
one
met.
is food.
You met with Travis.
Travis, but I didn't volunteer.
Right,
I
right.
met.
And then you did the food pantry.
The
Yeah.
food pantry and the boat building was actually a volunteer
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna build a boat?
She's already built a boat
Yeah.
before coming here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
you
a
were-
little bit similar work.
Really?
Yeah.
so you helped them.
I joined them and the paddling
Uh-huh.
in the river.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay,
So I didn't volunteer. I joined the activity.
okay.
Yeah.
And you liked?
Yeah. Actually, the concept is a little bit similar because there is a river in Seoul,
Uh-huh.
but no one there. People are always walking and cycling along the river, but the river is totally empty.
Huh.
Yeah, so I was wonder. So I made a boat with another artist, and we explore the river and the city through our boat. So you can see the city in a different aspect. So
Right.
concept is a little bit similar. So that I was interested.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. So,
Yeah. So what was your question? It was about volunteer.
Yeah,
Um, when
because
I
you dealt with many different racial
yeah
people here,
yeah
and generally,
yeah
maybe in India
Yeah.
you did. But when you deal with different cultures,
Mhm.
you find that they are the same.
yeah. But when I went to volunteer work, it is usually I mean the food party.
Mm-hmm.
Food volunteer was located in Brooklyn, and it's a little bit suburb,
Mm-hmm.
and the people are mostly black and a few of Hispanic and a few of Asia. So I felt,
Where from in Asia?
I think they're from China.
Probably.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So I thought I couldn't, yeah, I thought so the races have a different level, different social level. Yeah.
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 That does unfortunately happen.
Yeah.
We also
Mm-hmm.
sent. You have a question?
Oh, I remembered your other volunteer activity was
What?
the compost farm.
Ah.
When you were picking
Yeah,
vegetables.
I remember. That was really great activity.
Do they have urban farms like that in Seoul?
Oh, I. Yeah, urban farm, but it's a little bit. It is not in Seoul. It's suburb of Seoul, but I think that one is run by community, so that is very meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, people have a farm in suburb. They have individual
Mm-hmm.
territory,
Mm-hmm.
but that one is for the community. So that I thought it is very meaningful. Yeah, yeah.
One of the things that we think about Asian
Mhm.
society
Mm-hmm.
is that people care more about each other.
Mm-hmm.
And in America, people care about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel this?
Mm, I also thought that before, but I have no relationship here except you.
Right.
So I don't know much about it. If in Korea, friends and family, our, the boundary, they care about me. Yeah, I think in Asia more, if they have a relationship, they more care over you. But if they are a stranger, I don't think that
No.
much. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I wonder, because of the great difference in the U.S., the different races, the great different economics, maybe maybe we are making some progress
Progress.
in the U.S. interacting, working with each other.
Mm-hmm.
We try.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So we sent you to
Mm-hmm.
different religious activities.
Mm-hmm.
We sent you to places where you had to be quiet,
Mm-hmm.
places where you had to sing,
Mm-hmm.
places where you had to dance. Did you dance at any?
No, I didn't dance. I
The
just
tango lesson?
Aha!
a tango.
Not religious.
Not religious, but
Well, Tai Chi and but the religious.
Religious.
Yeah,
The
did-
church.
Yeah, Scientology,
Yeah.
Quaker, Baptist.
the Buddhist vihara.
Any interesting observation?
Yeah, they are all interesting.
Was it okay for you to be quiet
Yeah,
for so long?
that's my most favorite things. Yeah.
And the Baptist church, there are many Baptists in Korea?
Baptist?
Maybe not.
What is Baptist?
Uh,
The last one.
Yeah. Are people,
Dancing and singing, more activating.
yes.
No.
See, you were up on the top in the church, and down below,
Yeah.
everybody was singing and dancing.
Yeah.
Sometimes people go downstairs and they have to sing and dance.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, but I only watched in the second floor. The religious church are different. Yeah, so yeah, but I am here as an observer, so I felt human is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because human make a city and make a religion, and they acting differently and have made a different culture. So I am also human, but I step away from the human. So human being is interesting.
Did you like the diversity here?
Yeah.
So many different people, so many
Yeah.
different places.
Yeah, I like the diversity, and I also want to know every single person's background. But
Wow.
I wonder, yeah, how they come to here. I just want to know everybody. Yeah.
We try.
Yeah.
So one of the interesting things is that our folks go to a therapist. And for many people, if you are from South America, many people go to therapists. As many therapists as people.
Yes.
But in Asia, like you said in your journal, most people do not go.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons we think it is interesting, especially for artists, is this conflict that I was talking about of what is success. Because we find that in the US, as people are not close to their families, they move and they feel very isolated. And sometimes a therapist allows people to talk about things and to understand them better.
Yeah.
Was your experience, we don't ask you about personal because this is private between therapist and person,
Yeah.
but this idea of being able to go into yourself, yeah?
Yeah.
Is this something, when you go back, how are you going to talk about therapy? What will you say to people?
Therapy.
Yeah. Like I am a friend of yours,
Yeah.
an artist,
Yeah.
and you come home and they go,
Yeah.
well, what did you do? And you say, well, I did this and this. Will you tell people that you went to therapy?
I may cannot continue to therapy, psychology therapy, because there are no place about psychology therapy.
But will you tell your friends?
Yeah, I could tell to my friends.
And what will you tell them?
But I think the psychology therapy needs more time. If you only you join one time, because you know the therapist and I have to time to get a relationship.
Right.
Because at the first time, I'm not familiar
Right.
to her,
Right.
so it's hard to explain about
Sure.
me.
Sure.
But I spent here 4 weeks. So last week when I met her, I felt more closer to her.
Right.
And
Right.
so after I talked to her, when people have something in their mind, they don't know about their mind. But when they speak in
That's right.
it, they realized what was in the mind. So I think it's a good way to find myself. Yeah.
So when you go back, you may tell people that it is a good thing
Yeah, all good things. Yeah.
and that it is not only for crazy people or people who have had a bad thing happen. For many people, it is, as you say, when you hear yourself putting together the thoughts, you hear yourself and you go, oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We find it is very interesting, especially for Asian
Yeah.
fellows,
Yeah.
because it is such a society that people do not go.
Yeah.
And as I say, especially for artists, because there are many sometimes conflicts. You want to be an artist,
Yeah.
your parents want you to be a doctor, and these are things that it's sometimes very important to
Yeah.
be able
Yeah, I
to
think
talk
so.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
I wonder if therapy will become more common as people travel, see other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be interesting.
I think so too. Yeah.
Okay. You went to the 9/11 memorial
Yeah.
down
Yeah.
here, and you went to a death class, both of which are very related,
Why?
because 9/11 is about all of the people that were killed.
Yeah, I
So
know.
it is a memorial.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And in the US, we do not talk about death very much.
Oh.
In Mexico, they have a special holiday
Oh.
to celebrate.
Yeah.
And other countries have a closer connection.
Mm.
We don't, we are afraid
Mhm.
of death.
Yeah, sure.
So we don't talk.
Yeah.
Do you talk more? Do you have a closer relationship with dead relatives? How is death seen in Korea?
Actually, I have no relationship with the dead people, so I have not much experience about death. But sometimes I thought about death. In daily life in Seoul, there are lots of things to do, so I don't usually think about death. Yeah, but sometimes I think about death by myself, and I thought I should prepare to death.
I read
Yeah.
in your journal.
Yeah.
You think, yeah.
Yeah, and because every people should die in some day, and then I have to face the death. So living thing, good living is important, and the good death also important.
Something else we have made you think more
Yeah.
about.
Yeah, so that cafe is very interesting because that one is the place for death. So people talking about death unofficially. And we had the round table, round the chairs, and then
Everybody was old.
yeah, everybody were old and they have lots of experience about death.
Not
That-
personal, close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but when we thought about death, we also thought about the life. So I felt I could think about my life and how I want to live, how, in a way. Yeah. So
Nice,
it was
nice.
meaningful.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we sent you to Washington, D.C.,
Mm-hmm.
which for us is the power
Mm-hmm.
of the United States.
Yes.
What did you think of Washington?
Washington, the Washington and the New York also is I feel it's very management city. The city, management city, management,
Uh-huh.
because in Washington D.C. there's a big square park and very classified and grid. In New York, Manhattan as well. So I thought it's not old city. Usually, for example, Seoul was small before and is extended, and the city shape changed as people how they living. But in Washington and Manhattan is more controlled city. Control city by controlled. I don't. Yeah.
Well, Manhattan is an island,
Yeah.
so we cannot have more Manhattan. But Brooklyn, Queens,
Yeah.
Long Island, similar
Yeah.
in a sense.
Yeah.
It is already there,
Yeah.
so it is changing. Where maybe in Korea it is nothing and you are building. Huh?
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
yeah, so Washington D.C. There's a lot. Most of things is nearby the square. So yeah, easily to get to museum and historical museum.
Is it what you expected?
Uh, Actually, I have no information about Washington D.C. before.
Okay.
I only watched White House in
Right.
television,
Right?
and then I didn't expect that much.
Okay.
But there is, but Washington D.C. is more attractive than I thought.
More clean.
More clean and I stayed in the building which is built 100 years before, and it was very impressive because there nearby square park all the buildings made in 100 years before, so it's very antique,
Mm-hmm.
and the people preserve the building. So it was very impressive.
This building
Mm-hmm.
is 120
Really?
years.
Wow, amazing. Because in Korea, 20 years, 30 years, people destroyed the building and make a new building. So it's very good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, history is a funny thing. The U.S. now is a little more than 200 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we used to, like you, we would build something and take it down. But now we are beginning to feel history.
Mm-hmm. I see.
So we want to keep things. Sometimes they are not good things to keep,
Yeah.
but history becomes like the Blue House.
Yeah.
And have you been in the park around the Blue House in Seoul?
Blue House?
Yeah.
What is Blue House?
The president's house.
White House?
Your White House.
In Korea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
And the park,
Yeah.
that is a nice park.
Oh, yeah, there is a nice park as well.
Not so big,
Yeah,
But-
not so big.
nice.
Yeah, the old house.
Last time I was in Seoul,
Mm-hmm.
I took two people, two Koreans, to that park. They had never been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's
So sometimes when we travel,
yeah.
we are more willing
Yeah. That's right.
to do things.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How have you changed after being in our program?
I okay, yeah.
No, if you.
I changed the aspect of the city because before I came here, I had traveled some countries in developing countries. I thought city is same, and the city is boring because I born in city, Seoul. I raised in city. There are big supermarket and everybody looking same and busy. But I came here and my mind had changed a little bit. the city made by human being. Sometimes when I traveling abroad, I felt awe, overwhelmed by the nature. But I felt awe here when I walking between huge buildings, the building forest. So the city can make something inspiring and exciting feeling. So it
But
was interesting.
you also said that you feel you have more confidence.
Yeah, I think so.
So when you go home, how will you take advantage? How will you benefit? What will you do? A lot of times after our program, when people go home, they have a lot of energy.
Yeah, I think so.
They want to do many different things
Yeah.
and do it there. But they also sometimes get very depressed
Why?
because you are here, you are doing so many interesting different things. It is all about you
Yeah.
and us giving you,
Yeah.
and then you go home
Yeah.
and it's the same,
Yeah.
and you have to figure out how to take the energy and really make it happen. Because when you go home, you have all of the same problems,
Yeah.
same concerns, and you have to say one day, today I am going to find an activity like I did in New York, something that I have never done, because in Korea there is volunteering, there are many religious groups, dancing, tango. So everything that you do here is also there.
Yeah.
And what we want people to do is when you go home
Yeah.
to have the same kind of adventure.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to find more lectures and activity in Seoul as well. Yeah.
So you have to find a friend and say, come, let's go to this.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And maybe that will be good
Yeah, I think so.
for everybody.
Yeah, I think so. I absolutely agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any questions for us? Now you have been here for almost 1 month. Do you wonder why we do anything that we do?
Yeah, I wonder how you feel to manage this program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Almost everyone that participates in our programs, they make changes in their life. They think about their work and they wonder if their work is really important. Yeah? Sometimes people who are artists don't do a lot of different things. I found when I traveled the world as an artist, I went to Korea, but I didn't really go to Korea
Why?
because I only stayed at the museum
I see.
and the hotel
I see.
and the people that I knew.
I see.
And many of the people that I saw, I already knew.
I see.
So I had good sushi and good Korean food, but I did not really visit Korea.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when we travel, I make sure to do things like you do here, and then you begin to feel much deeper into society.
Yeah.
And it's very hard when you are only a tourist
Yeah.
to find
Yeah.
these things. And I think the answer is that almost everyone is affected, and it makes them think about what they are doing.
Yeah.
And this, I think, makes us all feel very good.
Yeah.
The programs that they may give you a studio and they say, keep doing
Yeah,
your
yeah.
work. For us, this seems, it's a good opportunity, but it's also a lost
Yeah.
opportunity. Because if you don't have an interesting life, how do you make interesting art?
Yeah. I understand. Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So I guess we have our hour. I could ask you more difficult questions, but you don't want
What difficult?
that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Well, it has been a pleasure having you here.
Yeah.
Everyone has enjoyed meeting with you.
It was a pleasure to meet yours. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So that wraps up our exit interview with Jung, and thank you for joining us.